But the ones that stood out the most were the notes that were written by or related to a man named George Trevor. He was the architect behind this mansion. The guy who hired him to make it was Oswald E. Spencer. Spencer was actually going to use this mansion as a facility to test and create viruses that'll eventually create the zombie outbreaks and other horrors that we'll see throughout the franchise. And a secret lab can't really be a secret if the guy who you hired to construct it doesn't work under you. So he invited George Trevor, his wife Jessica, and their daughter Lisa. George gets imprisoned, escapes, and then gets trapped in a room with his tombstone already being there waiting for him. Jessica ends up being a test subject and dies. Meanwhile, Lisa ends up kind of being successful. She's the first to truly adapt, or at least the first person to adapt in this era. Again, I had already known this stuff, so I kind of read this with a meh, I kind of knew that already attitude. But then my curiosity started to spark for the first time. George is an architect who constructed the mansion, but the game writes it in a way that implies he owns the company that constructed the estate. When I went to the Resident Evil wiki, I found that the name of the company was Trevor and Chamberlain. I wanted to know more about the company because I had this weird suspicion that this Chamberlain person was somehow involved with George's death. Like he worked with Spencer in order to trap George. But the wiki redirected me to a small article that mentions the company also constructed the Baker family home. This is when I realized how deep the game's lore actually goes. I knew about the Baker house because it's where the greatly received Resident Evil 7 takes place, and coincidentally was one of the few games I didn't buy from the sale because it looked too scary. So at this point I was looking through every note and detail in the game and connecting them with future entries, as well as how it led up to the outbreak in September.